The Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox. Okay, take it away.
On behalf of George Watson, and myself, this is Fred Fowler bidding you all a good afternoon from Comiskey Park, the home of the White Sox in Chicago, to bring you the second game of the City Championship Series between the White Sox and the Cubs being played this afternoon in Comiskey Park. The game will not start for about 5 minutes, but we have time to tell you about the crowd in the stands and also to give you the lineups for the game to be played this afternoon. Looking out from the press box up here, we would say that there are approximately 15,000 to 18,000 fans in the stands, both in the upper decks and in the boxes below, and it's a bright, sunny day. The fielders' clubs are all out on the field down there, all ready for the players to go out, and they've already warmed up and have left the field with just the pitchers warming up down in the bullpen right now. So without more ado, we'll give you the lineup for the game to be played this afternoon. For the Cubs to come to bat first, Galan is going to play center field. Cabaretta, third base. Herman, second base. Demery, right field. Hack, third base. Hartnett, catching. Jurgis, shortstop. And Lon Warnicki will do the pitching. For the White Sox, Radcliffe, left field. Rosenthal, center field. Haas, right field. Ventura, first base. Appling, shortstop. Hayes, second base. Dyke, third base. Sewell, catching. And Monty Stratton, pitching. The field announcer is just giving the lineup that we have just given you, and the fans are continuing to pour in. In fact, there's a goodly crowd that's already coming in. As we look out over the diamond here, incidentally, the umpires are just coming in, the 4 umpires for this afternoon, and they are Stewart, Barr, McGowan, and Ormsby. Stewart is at first base, Barr is at third base, and Ormsby at the plate. And now taking out the balls and giving them to the catcher, or rather to the umpire Barr behind their umpire Ormsby behind the plate, filling his pockets with them. And incidentally, we're going to tell you that the grandstand is sprinkled with a goodly supply of overcoats this afternoon. You know, did we say something about football starting? That's right, it's football season right now. The baseball season is practically over with just the City Series to wind up the season. And the overcoats are coming more into prominence with mufflers showing up here and there. There's a very colorful crowd out in the stands this afternoon. There's a very mild, moderate, gentle wind blowing. In fact, I should say it was coming very gently from the west to southwest, west to southwest. Is that about right? Yeah, about southwest, George remarked. The breeze seems to be coming from the back of the box here, so it is blowing in a northeasterly direction, which will help if the ball gets above these stands in carrying it into that center field bleacher out there, which is about 440 feet. Yes, it's only been one ball ever hit in there. It'll have to be a little bit stronger wind than it is today to carry it really into it. Nonetheless, it is a perfect baseball day. It's one of those days that can be adapted to almost any sport, whether it's baseball, football, or whatever it happens to be. And there go the White Sox onto the field to take their position for the first half of the first inning. The White Sox all dressed in their white uniforms, and the visiting Cubs will be in their gray visitors' uniforms this afternoon. And now the game is just about to start, and so for the play-by-play for the first few innings, here he is, George Watson. All right, George.
What if you could own a part of history? What if you could be part of history? Whether you're 9 months old or 90, This Day in Baseball has something for you. This Day in Baseball offers unique clothing items with iconic opportunities to sponsor player pages like Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Sandy Koufax, any game, season, or ballpark in baseball history. You can join our podcast, our special videos, and much more. This Day in Baseball allows you to be a proud sponsor of history of your favorite players, places, teams, and events, which allows us to fulfill the mission to bring baseball history back to life in many various forms. We provide you the chance to be part of history, and we recreate it. Want to see how? Go to thisdayinbaseball.com and click on the Patreon link in the menu bar. If you're familiar with Patreon, go to patreon.com/thisdayinbaseball and you can become part of baseball history today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're underway with the second game in the City Series between the Sox and the Cubs. Yesterday, of course, you know, the White Sox came north to Wrigley Field and taught the Cubs a few lessons in baseball by the score of 5-1. Vernon Kennedy allowing only 4 hits in the entire ball game, which was a crackerjack ball game to watch. Radcliffe's home run was something to really get a kick out of. The boys romping home one after another. Our pitcher's warming up now. Marty Stratton pitching for the White Sox with Luke Sewell behind the plate, and the first man at bat is Augie Gallant. Marty Stratton, a tall stringer out there, taking the rosin bag, goes down his cab, getting the sign from Luke Sewell, and the ball game is about to begin. Ticket on behind him, getting the signal, and take on it. This man Gallant. And here it is, the first pitch, and ball 1. Pitch, and I foul up into the upper deck just in front of us there, and is missed completely by all concerned. Strike 1, and ball 1 on Augie Gallant. Stretch and the pitch, and he foul takes one into the midst of Luke Sewell for strike 2. Strike 2 and ball 1 on the hitter. The Rosenberg again, Marty Stratton, a tall right-hander, pitching to Augie Gallant, batting left-handed. And an underhand shoot which developed into a ball. So it's 2 strikes. And ball 2. 2-2. That one cut the inside corner of the plate, and Augie Gallant didn't like that. He just kind of stood there and watched it go by. So it's 1 out. Augie Gallant striking out. Watched that third one go by. Monty just put a screwball twist on that, and it broke sharply over the inside corner of the plate. Which brings Phil Cavaletta to bat. And the pitch. And ball 1. Ball 1 for Phil Cavaletta. Stretch. Cutting the inside corner of the plate for ball 2. No out. Sorry, 1 out rather. Sorry. Gallant struck out. 1 out the first half of the first inning. And the pitch. A sharply hit ball down to the second baseman, and he is out. Or the second out. Ball was hit down to Jackie Hayes, with plenty of time to field it and get it over to Zeke Manura. Which brings us Stanley Hack at bat, hitting right-handed. 2 out. That time. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that the Hack? I'm awfully sorry. Billy Herman. Billy Herman is the batter. And ball 2 on Billy Herman. Ball 2 and strike 1. Getting ready to pitch, the stretch. Another one of those underhanded curves. Broke sharply across the plate. Strike 1, ball 2. Stratton getting ready to pitch again to Billy Herman. And Billy takes a nice cut at that ball. High fly out into left field. And is taken very nicely by Ripper Radcliffe for the third out. No hits, no runs, and no errors for the Cubs in their first half of the first inning in this second game between the White Sox and the Cubs. Lon Warnicki on the mound. Breezing over a few to Gabby Hartnett. Ball tossing the ball around the infield. Cubs are tired in their gray traveling uniforms today. And the White Sox down to bat. The first batter will be Ripper Redcliffe, the left fielder for the Sox. Lon's burning down there like he usually does. Long, slow wind up, and then a snap, and away she comes. Redcliffe gets quite a hand as he comes out. Naturally, the fans are pretty crazy about him, but what he did yesterday by knocking that ball out into the right field bleachers out at Wrigley Field. Redcliffe is at bat. Lon Warnicki on the mound. And they're ready to go. Batting left-handed against the right-handed pitcher. Ball one. Rip scoops down and gets some of that good old dirt to rub on that bat. Lon rubbing up the ball. Get that horsehide a little loose on there so it will do a lot of twists and turns. Here she comes. Stretch and the pitch. And right over the heart of the plate for strike one. Strike one and ball one. Ball two. Cuts way out in the outside corner. Ball two, strike one. Radcliffe's the hitter. Getting ready to pitch. There's the windup. And a beauty right over the heart of the plate. Rather a slow ball. Had a very freaky curve. Seemed to kind of lob over it. Radcliffe stood by and just let it go. Strike two and ball two. Ball three. Ball three, strike two on Ripper Redcliffe. First man up in the Sox part of the first inning. This should be the good one. And Ripper Redcliffe gets the walk. Radcliffe on first. Brings up Harry Rosenthal, the center fielder. Rosenthal at bat, also batting left-handed. Radcliffe on first. And Warnicki getting ready to pitch. Gets his sign from Gabby Hartnett. Boys all in position. Watching first base, and here's the pitch. Strike one. Strike one on Larry Rosenthal. That's just staying pretty close to first base. Lon's looking over there, keeping him pretty well to the bag. Now a little leadoff. Watching him, the pitch. And he tries to bunt, but it's turned out foul. So it's strike two on Larry Rosenthal. Boy striking the ball around the infield. Back to Lon Warnicki. He's still working on that ball, trying to get that cover loosened up a little bit. The rosin bag. Steps up to the slab. Gets the sign from Gabby Hartnett. And the stretch. And that was ball one. Ball one and strike two on Rosenthal. Ripper Radcliffe on first base. There's the leadoff. Leave about 10 feet off the bag. And right straight through the box, a nice drop swing. And now he's held up at second. Throws a little wide. Holding Radcliffe at second. Rosenthal singled sharply right through Lon Warnicki. Went out into center field. So now Mr. Warnicki is in rather a hole. No out. The man on first and second, which brings up Zeke Ventura, or the Hugh Hawes. Hugh Hawes at bat. Man on first and second. Warnicki is in a hole now. Foul off to the left up in the second deck of the grandstand. Strike one on New Hog. Strike one on New Hog. Man on first and second. And strike one on the batter. Warnke watches first and second pretty close now before he starts the pitch. And there's the pitch. And ball one. The infield playing in close now and figuring that Hawes might attempt a bunt. Ball one and strike one.
Ball two outside. Which in this instance happens to be the second strike lead off first and second. Warnke getting ready to pitch. And here it is. And he bunts right down to Warnke. Warnke throws to third. Over. Way over the third baseman's head. Another run coming in. And Hugh Hawes is safe at third on a bunt. On a bunt at third base. Warnke fielded and threw it way over the third baseman's head out into left center. A two-base throwing error. There seems to be an argument about it now. Harry Hartman is out there arguing with the umpire. Warnke threw about 6 feet over the third baseman's head and went way out into left center. And we have 2 runs in and Hawes on third base. A two-base throwing error. 1-1. He laid that bunt down perfect. Warnke could have fielded it, which he did, and then threw the third to try and catch the man coming in second, but whoop, over his head it went and clean out into the garden. There seems to be some dispute about it now. Gabby Hartnett's out there arguing with the umpires. But it was a beautiful play, and from where we sit up here in the booth, it looks as though it was safe. But that's up to the umpire to decide. Red Griffin Rosenthal scored on that, bringing Hawes up to third base, and nobody else. Well, there's a picture of the ball game in the White Sox half of the first inning. Gabby's still arguing down there, but I guess it's going to go. So the 2 runs in, no outs, and Hugh Hawes on third base by virtue of that bunt he laid down. Warnke fielded and threw over the third baseman's head, which was a two-base throwing error. Zeke Benora is at bat. The right-handed hitter. Strike one and Zeke Benora. The stretch and the pitch. And ball one and strike one on Zeke Benora. Rudin Henshaw are warming up for the Cubs. Warnke finds himself in quite a mess out there now with 2 runs in, nobody out, the man on third base, and Zeke Benora at bat with 1 strike and ball one. Ball two, strike one. Mr. Benora is the batter. Warnke getting his signal from Gabby Hartnett, a wind-up. And the pitch. And ball 3. Ball 3 on Zeke Benora with strike one. Nobody out, man on third, 2 runs in. And the pitch. And Zeke gets a hold of one, which is going foul into the lower boxes to our right. Strike 2 and ball 3. Nobody out. Score 2-0 for the White Sox in their half of the first inning. Warnke getting ready to pitch. And here it is. And he fouls another. Right back into the screen. So it's strike 2, ball 3. Luke Hoffman is the next at bat. Cubs on the alert now, watching every movement of Ron Warnicki. And Luke fouls another over into the White Sox dugout. The count remains the same. 3 balls, 2 strikes. And Drew Hall's on third base. Nice crowd out here today. Perfect baseball weather. A little chilly up here, but nice down on the field. And Zeke Manor struck out for the first out in the second half of the first inning. Luke Appling coming to bat. Hall still on third base. Luke Appling, a champion batsman of both leagues. And Luke gets a mighty nice hand. That's right-handed. Warnicki still rubbing up that ball. Getting ready to pitch now, getting a sign from Gabby Hartnett. And here it comes. Ball 1. High and on the inside. High and on the inside. Ball 1 for Appling. And ball 2. That broke sharply to the outside of the plate. About knee high. Boys playing in close now. Warnicki using the rosin bag quite frequently. And the pitch. And he... A sharply hit ball down to Billy Herman at second, and it developed into a two-bagger. That ball took a nasty hop. It turned right off of Billy Herman's... That ball would be called a hit. A ball that it looked like Billy could field, but it took a sharp bounce off his shoe, and it's called a hit. And Luke Appling pulls up at second base. The ball bounded high right out into the right field. And another run in, so it's 3-0 for the Sox. Hall scored from third base on that two-bagger. Which brings us to bat Jackie Hayes. 1 ball. Jackie Hayes, the hitter. And he, now, that's a little grounder down that went foul out into the third base coaching box. Ball 1 and strike 1 on Jackie Hayes. And 1 out. 1 out and 3 runs in for the White Sox. Warnicki getting the sign. And the pitch. Luke Appling taking quite a lead off second base. Ball 2 and strike 1. Hayes stands up at the plate very much like Luke Appling, about the same stance. And strike 2. Ball had a funny hop. Jackie Hayes took a wild swing at it and missed it a mile. Ball 2, strike 2 on Jackie Hayes. Luke Appling on second base, 1 out. And the score 3-0 for the White Sox. Here's the pitch. Gabby Hartnett's calling him for the umpire. He got that ball, his right hand went up. But it so happened it was ball 3. Ball 3 and strike 2 on Jackie Hayes. Appling taking quite a lead off second. And here is the pitch. Gets a hold of one. It's a high fly out into center field. He's got to run for it. Center fielder came in for that. Ogie Galland came in for it, but Billy Herman went back and took it just about midway between the second base and the center field bleachers. So it's 2 outs. Jackie Hayes flied out to Billy Herman, and manager Jimmy Dykes is at bat. Score 3-0 for the White Sox. And 2 outs. Luke Appling still on second base. Jimmy Dykes at bat. Strike 1 on Jimmy. Right over the heart of the plate, about letter high. Still the second half of the first inning. Strike 2 on Jimmy Dykes. 2 out. Sapling on second. Strikes at bat. And 2 strikes on manager's in. And he struck out. Went down swinging. That ends the first half, or the last half of the first inning.
That's all. Ladies and gentlemen, the sum half 2 hits and 1 man left on base. And now, ladies and gentlemen, yesterday afternoon, we didn't have us, but this afternoon, it is our pleasure to bring to you that ace, that dean of sports announcers, the man amongst men, that outstanding man. Here he is, in the flesh himself, Hal Totten.
Hey, can I get my head in this booth after all of that? That's what I want to know.
Whoa, man. Hey, George, what kind of a system do you use down here?
Oh, just, you know.
You're terrific. This is another, George. This is Watso's.
Gee, what's up?
Oh, that's yours. I see. That's the smaller system. Well, I see I've got a lot of competition. How things go yesterday here? I thought I was going to have a vacation. Here I am back at work again. No golf. No. Well, anyway, it's worth looking at, no matter what way you look at it. And going into the second inning, the Cubs are at bat. The White Sox leading 3-0, and we're bearing down with, let's see, who's at bat. Frank Demery, the first man up there, and Stratton starts to wind up the pitch. The first one throws, and it's a fastball inside across the weight for ball 1. 1 ball called. That's just Watson sitting down in his usual quiet manner. And there's ball 2. It's a fast one inside, in which Demery had to twist away from it to keep from getting hit. Sewell picks it up, looks it over, and calls for another one, which umpire Ormsby tosses him, immediately throwing the other ball out of play. And Sewell stands there, rubs the old shine off, throws the ball back out to the pitcher. Stratton has it, and also does a little rubbing up on his own hook back of the mound. It's 2-0, 2 balls, and no strikes on Demery. First man at bat for the Cubs in the first half of the second. And there's strike 1, a beauty down the middle across the letter. Strike, let it go by without offering at it. And the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1. He hits the next one, a drive into left field. Radcliffe comes in nicely, though, and makes the catch for the first out in the second inning. The ball was well hit and curving a little bit toward the line, but Radcliffe came in. He was playing clear out to the wall and made the catch easily for the first out in the second inning. 1 out. And Stanley Hack, the Cubs' third baseman, a left-handed hitter, tall, slim boy, steps up there to the plate. Hack at bat. And he takes the first one and slips by wide across the knees for ball 1. 1 ball called. Throws again, and there's a ball inside and low. So the count is 2-0. 2 balls and no strike. Stratton goes back, uses the rosin bag, steps on the slab once more. Winds up and pitches a high ball outside for ball 3. And it's 3-0 on Hack. 3 balls and no strikes. 3-0 the count with the pitcher waiting out there again. Stands there with his back to the plate, rubbing up the ball. And then turns around, walks slowly onto the mound once more. Has the sign, winds up, and pitches, and the hitter gets ball 4. It's over the plate, but too low. And Hack gets the base on balls. It puts him on first base with 1 out in the second inning for the Cubs. And Gabby Hartnett, Cubs catcher, gets a hand from the Cubs fans and a big boo from the Sox fans as he steps up there. Gabby was protesting before on the air by Warneke, claiming only 1 run should have come in when the ball that was thrown by Warneke went into the canvas down the left field line. And the Sox fans, of course, didn't like that at all and are telling him in no mean language every time he moves around, which is the old city rivalry, boys, the way it should be on both sides of the field. Stratton throws the first one to Gabby, who takes it for a ball. It's over the plate, but too low. 1 ball called. Johnny Corden coaching down at first base, making all sorts of wild gestures to indicate that he thinks Gabby ought to get a hold of one. Stratton throws again, and Leo twists away to take ball 2. It's inside, drops out of Sewell's glove. And Luke picks it up, throws it back to the pitcher. Hayes dashed over to cover second, but Hack held first as the ball dropped practically out to catcher's feet. Nothing is the count. 2 balls and no strike. And the hitter hits the next one, a bounder, which Stratton knocks down. He races over towards shortstop to get it, but it's too late, and Gabby beats it out for a base hit, putting Cub runners on first and second with 1 out in the second inning. And Johnny Gill is at bat. Hard smash right back at Stratton, who made a courageous effort to get it, knocking it down with his bare hand. It rolled over toward the shortstop. Naturally, with the ball hit straight through the box, Appling was carrying for second and didn't have time to stop and shift into the infield to get the ball. Gabby beat it out for a base hit, and Cub runners are on first and second with 1 out in the second inning. And Johnny Gill, husky left-handed hitter up there. Sewell suddenly calls time and asks for the pitcher to throw a couple to make sure that his hand's all right after stopping that one. Jimmy Dykes goes over to talk to him also. Monty seems to think it's okay, however, they're taking no chances. And Sugar Kane has started to warm up down in the left field bullpen just to be ready in case that Monty does have trouble with controlling that ball. You know, that's liable to numb the fingers and make it a little tough. But he's thrown a couple and seems to think he's all right, so we're ready to go again. Monty's all set now. Pitch throws, and Johnny fouls the ball down past first base. Karam's against the stand, bounds out toward the left field line. Wally Stevenson warming up French in the right field bullpen for the Cubs. Runs in to get the ball. Umpire Stewart takes it and throws it all the way into the screen. Now Stratton swings around. He's ready once more. Throws, and Gill lines the ball into right field for a base hit. House is coming in on it. The runner from second is scoring. The runner from first, Gabby, who isn't very fast on his feet, stops at second. Single to right by Gill. Driving in Hack to make the score 3-1 in favor of the White Sox, and leaves Cub runners on first and second with 1 out, 1 run home in the second inning, and Bill Jurgis at bat. Jurgis, the shortstop, at the plate. He's a right-handed hitter, stands there waiting as Stratton gets his sign. And the hitter hits the ball, a slow bounder back to Hayes, who scoops it up, flips it to Appling. He throws to first, and it's a double play, a good fast double play. Hayes to Appling to Ventura for the second and third outs in the first half of the second inning, ending the inning with 1 run, 2 hits, and 1 man left on base for the Cubs. And the score is 3-1 in favor of the White Sox. White Sox at bat in the last half of the second inning with Sewell, Luke Sewell, the White Sox, catcher, the first man at bat. First man at bat in the third inning for the Cubs, or rather second inning for the Sox. Wait a minute, I'm going to keep them at bat. That wouldn't be so hot. Here we go in the second inning. I guess this score will say, you know, it's sort of funny to see either Chicago team hitting first in an inning. Here's Luke Sewell at bat to start the last half of the second. He hits the first pitch, a high fly in short center field. Billy Herman racing back, finally calls for the ball and grabs it. He had to get it because neither Demery or Galan could get in quick enough to reach it. And so Billy Herman makes the catch pretty well out into right center, having to go a long way to get it for the first out in the second inning. And Monty Stratton gets a swell hand from the fans as he comes walking out of the dugout and up there toward the plate. Stratton at bat with 1 out in the second inning for the White Sox. The score is 3-1 in favor of the White Sox. And Warneke gets the sign, starts to wind up. Pitches, and it's a strike over the heart of the plate, about waist high. 1 strike to count. Warneke waits there again, winds up once more, and throws, and the hitter takes a strike over the heart of the plate about waist high, and it's 2 strikes. 2 strikes on Stratton. Again, the pitcher throws, and it's ball 1. It's over the plate for 2 low. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Monty. 1 and 2 with the pitcher ready again. Starts to wind up once more, throws, and the hitter swings it, a bounder down to Jurgis, who comes over fast, scoops it up nicely, throws the first, and Stratton is out for the second out in the second inning. From the second inning for the White, and Riprat, lead-off man and left fielder, steps up there to the plate, Radcliffe at bat. Winds up, throws, and Radcliffe takes a strike over the heart of the plate. Loosened up pretty well, although he loosened up in the first inning when they got busy on him. He's loosened up too much. The next one to follow it off the ground back of the plate for strike 2, making it 2 strikes on the Ripper. 2 strikes on Radcliffe. 2 out in the second inning for the Sox. They're leading the Cubs 3-1. 2 out in the second inning for the Cubs. Warnke winds up again now, throws, and it's a ball. It's over the plate for 2 low, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Radcliffe. 1-2 the count. 1-2, pitch ready once more. He's winding up. Throwing, hit a ball out to right center to make the catch for the 3rd out. 3 out, the ball was mighty well hit, and Emery had to race back toward right center out in front of the scoreboard. He got that ball, although still within about 20 or 25 feet of the scoreboard. So it's no runs, no hits in the second inning, and at the end of the second inning, the White Sox are leading the Cubs by a score of 3-1. Well, Fred, you've got something to say here?
I have, Hal. This baseball presentation featuring Hal Totten is coming to you as a presentation of the Voice of Labor. WCFL, Chicago. All right, Hal, it's yours.
Well, all right, I got it. In fact, I had it all the time. I was right over your shoulder. They got you out here in the cold now, Fred. You don't sit down there taking it like you did. Taking it easy in that air-cooled studio in that hot weather. Remember that, George? Oh, boy. What are you moaning about? You used to sit here. Look at what he's got on today. One coat, one sweater, another coat. And I can remember when he used to sit here, and once in a while he even peel off that sock shirt. Here we go. Warnke gets out in the 3rd inning. He got a nice hand as he came up there. Pitcher winds up, throws, and Lon swings, hit a ball down to Dykes back at third base. Jim gets it, arches the ball across the diamond, and Warnke is out for the 1st out in the 3rd inning. 1 out in the 3rd inning for the Cubs. And Augie Gallan, the Cubs center fielder, steps up there. The leadoff man is that. Stratton stands there, getting his side, winds up, and pitches. And here's a high fastball inside for Paul Worth. 1 ball called. Sewell suddenly walks out into the infield with the ball this time before throwing it back to Stratton. Comes back behind the plate again. And Monty steps on the slab once more. Starts to wind up again and pitches. The hitter takes ball 2. It's a curveball down by the knees. And the count is 2-0 on Augie. 2 balls and no strikes. Cubs in the last 2 innings have shown an inclination to wake this pitcher out. And there's a strike curving towards the hitter. Stayed over the inside corner a little above the knees to run the count 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike on Gallan. Augie flips the dirt aside, then steps up to the plate. Starts to wind up, throws, and he leans back to take ball 3 inside across the shoulders. So it's 3 balls and 1 strike on Gallan. Augie batting left-handed as he always does against right-handed pitching. Waits. Stratton winds up, throws, and the hitter swings it a high fly to right field. Haas jogs in easily. He's waiting for it. Has it, and it's 2 out in the 3rd inning. 2 out in the 3rd inning for the Cubs. And Phil Cavaretta, the Cubs first baseman, left-handed hitter also, steps up there to the plate. Cavaretta taps. Stratton on the slab. Getting his side, starts his wind-up, and throws, and the hitter swings it a high fly out into short center field. Rosenthal coming in fast, Appling going out there, and Luke makes the catch nicely. Oh, he was going and still had his back to the infield as he caught that ball dropping out in front of him over his shoulder to make a nice play for the 3rd out. And it's no runs, no hits in the 3rd inning for the Cubs. The score remaining 3-1 in favor of the White Sox. Sox at bat in the last half of the 3rd inning. The first White Sox hitter, Larry Rosenthal, who seems to be the big shot in the attack for the Sox so far, although Appling is also keeping up with him in the hit department. Each one has made 3 hits in the 2 games. Let's take a look to make sure. Yesterday, Rosenthal had 2 hits and 4 times at bat. Now Appling had 1 hit and 2 times at bat. He had the 2 walks. I knew their percentage was the same. So Rosenthal now has 3 hits in the series, and Appling 2, as far as the White Sox are concerned. Oh, Lucius Luke showing it's no luck that he was up there leading both leagues in hitting. Last top of the third inning, Rosenthal up there at the plate. Husky left-handed hitter, who, from all prospects, should be one of the real rookies of the year next summer when he gets the first full season. He hits the first pitch, the fly to left field. Gill is going back, grabs for the ball, and makes a great backhanded catch of it. The only trouble was he wouldn't have had to make a great backhanded catch of it if he judged it right in the first place. Johnny went racing way back there to the wall, but he was running almost in the wrong direction. And finally, at the last minute, he veered over toward the foul line and made a one-handed backhanded stab of that long drive and held onto it for the first out in the third inning. And now Hart at bat swings the first pitch to foul it up into the second deck and a bounce clear back out into the field. And it's one strike on Hart. One strike to count. She winds up again, throws, and Mule swings and fouls the ball off the end of the bat. It just missed Benura, dashed over and hit the stand to the left of the plate and rolled back out in the field. Zeke gets it, throws it over to the fat boy who decides it should go into the screen, not the bench. Rolls it over to the announcer down there. So it's two strikes on Hart. With the pitcher waiting there again, he winds up and throws, and Mule takes a wide one low for ball. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Hart. Warnke gets the ball back from Hartnett. Stands there getting his sign. He's winding up and throws, and the hitter swings the high fly out into left field. The left fielder Gill starts in on that, then changes his mind, backs up a little, and has that one easily for the second out. So it's 2 out in the third inning for the White Sox, and Benura is at bat. Zeke Benura up there with 2 out in the third inning for the White Sox. Warnke throws the first one. It's a strike over the inside corner, waist high. 1 strike on Zeke. 1 strike is the count. Pitch waiting out there again. Stands there getting his sign. He winds up once more and throws, and the hitter swings and misses a fastball for strike 2. That makes it 2 strikes on Benura. 2 outs for the Sox in the third inning. White Sox leading the Cubs 3-1. Ready again, winds up, throws, and it's over the plate for too low for ball 2, or ball 1 rather. The count is 1 and 2, 1 ball and 2 strikes on Big Zeke. 1 and 2 the count. Warnke waiting for the sign, has it, winds up again. Throws, and the hitter takes ball 2, and Hartnett wags his head at Warnke as though to say that ball didn't go where he expected it to. Throws it back to Lon, flips the glove up over his wrist, rubs the ball up a little bit, uses the rosin bag, and comes back on the slab. Count of 2 balls and 2 strikes on Benura. Warnke again winds up, throws, and Zeke gets the third ball. That one just barely missed the outside corner across the knees, and so Gabby takes the ball to look it over, can't find anything wrong with it, throws it back to Dick. Warnke wipes his hands dry, looks over the boys out there in the field, and throws the next one high and inside for ball 4, giving Zeke a base on ball. Well. He had 2 strikes on him and then threw 4 consecutive bad ones, so Benura gets a walk, and he's on first base with 2 out in the third inning, and Luke Appling at bat. And Lucius Luke up there, still going like a streak. Warnke seems to have a sign. He's ready to pitch and throws, and it's inside and low for ball 1. 1 ball called. 5 consecutive bad ones that Warnke's thrown out there. 4 after getting 2 strikes on Benura to walk Zeke. And now 1 on Appling. So it's 1 ball called with a pitcher waiting there again. Justice Cap swings around as he gets the sign. There's a stretch to first base. Then throws over there. The runner just barely slid back ahead of the throw, and it was pretty doggone close. Zeke wasn't expecting that, and had a pretty big lead, so had to slide back feet first to get in there. 1 ball called, and the pitcher is ready now to pitch to Appling again. Still watches the runner. but pitches, and Luke hits an easy bounder down to Billy Herman, who gets it, throws to first base, and it's 3 out. No runs, no hits, 1 man left on base in the third inning for the White Sox. And the score is still 3-1 in favor of the White Sox at the end of the third inning. Now, well, I guess they got somebody else down there because Fred's out here, but at any rate, it's the end of the third inning, so if you want some scores of what's going on in that World Series game, we return to the studio.
And here we are back in the studios to tell you that the Yankees are having a field day at the Polo Grounds in New York. Schumacher started out and was knocked out of the box, to be followed by Smith, who was promptly also knocked out of the box, and a right-hander, Dick Kaufman, has finally taken Smith's place as the Giant pitcher. Lazzari homered with the bases filled for the Yanks in the first half of the third inning. The score is now 9-1 in favor of the Yanks as we come to the close of the first half of the third inning. That's all the scores now, so back to Hal Totten and Comiskey Ball.
Back at the ballpark for the fourth inning, the first man at bat for the Cubs is Billy Herman, and he fouled the first pitch up against the front of the second deck, above and to the right of the plate for strike 1. 1 strike on Bill. Stratton winding up again. Throws, and the hitter takes a high one wide for ball 1. So it's 1 ball and 1 strike on Herman. White Sox leading 3-1 in the fourth inning. Stratton waits out there again. Has the side, he starts to wind up. Throws, and the hitter takes the ball inside across the chest. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike on Billy Herman. 2-1 the count. Two and 1 is the count, and the hitter swings again to miss a high pass ball inside for strike 2. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Billy Herman. 2-2 the count. Stratton throws again, and Bill swings to hit the ball. Dykes takes it to his left, throws hard to first, and Herman is out easily for the second out in the fourth inning. Oh, wait a minute, first out in the fourth inning. I'm getting ahead of myself because I just started to look back. Herman has been completely stopped by the Sox pitchers in the 2 games so far. He got a walk in the 6th inning yesterday, but hasn't been on base yet today in 2 tries. And Demery is at bat. Frank watches the first one come over the heart of the plate, waist high for a strike. 1 strike on Demery. And the next one's wide and low for ball 1. So the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. One and 1 the count. The hitter fouls this next one into the second deck down in front of us, a little to our right. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 and 2 on Demery. Stratton throws once more. Frank gets another ball high and wide, making it 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Monty goes back to use the rosin bag this trip, then comes back onto the rubber once more. And they're getting it signed. Starts to wind up. And pitches, and the hitter swings the high foul going into the stands back at first base. Minora comes over in his, what pose is that? Number 7, that one with his hand in the air as he comes over there. But anyway, he was shading his eyes from the sun, and ball landed pretty well back in the seats out of his reach. It's still 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 on Frank. And he hits the next for another foul into the stand to the right of the plate. Misses the second deck, goes into the lower. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. And he hits the next, a high bounder. Mr. Dykes grabs for it, but it takes a high bounce. A nasty one hits his glove. Rounds out back of Appling, and the runner is safe at first base on what I imagine is a hit. Because it took a very, very bad hop just as it was about to get there, yeah. It's a base hit for Demery. Puts Frank on first base with 1 out in the fourth inning. and Stanley Hack at bat. Stratton gets ready to pitch the first one, throws, and Stan hits the ball hard out into left center. Rosenthal dashes over there and makes a very, very nice running catch and throws the ball into second base to chase the runner back to first. For some reason or other, they didn't have Hack figured just right there, I'm afraid, because Rosenthal was playing in dead center field instead of left center where they usually play Stan. As a result, he had to do a lot of running to get to that ball and make a sensational catch, but Hack hit the ball right in his usual groove. And now Hartnett takes the first pitch high and inside for ball one. One ball called. Emery on first base, 2 out in the 4th inning. One ball called on Hartnett. Who looks the ball over, throws it back out to Stratton. Marty ready again, throws. Gabby hits the ball on the line, and Appling leaps into the air to make a one-handed catch, and it's 3 out. Luke Appling leaps high into the air to make a one-handed stab at what looked like a sure line drive that time, and the White Sox defense again is pulling this club along because Mr. Stratton has not been especially a better pitcher than Warneke, but he's had much the better support, particularly in the case of Warneke himself. So it's no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. In the 4th inning for the Cubs, score is still 3-1 in favor of the White Sox. Sox have bat in the last half of the 4th with Jackie Hayes, the first man up. Warnke's been out there warming up with Ken O'Day. Hartnett standing right back at Ken. And here is Jackie Hayes walking up there at the plate to be the first man at bat in the 4th inning. Hayes up there. Now the pitcher winds up, throws the first one, and Hayes takes it inside and low for ball 1. You people probably heard this on the switch back to the studio, but the crowd's cheering when the 3rd inning score of the Yankee-Giant game goes up, which shows one of those old Yankee innings. And here's a wide one low for ball 2, and the count is 2-0 on Jackie Hayes. First man at bat in the 4th inning for the White Sox. Again winding up, throws, and it's a high one inside for ball 2. Rather over the inside corner across the chest for strike 1. Stop and look at the plate, not out that scoreboard. That isn't going to help any. 2-1, and there's strike 2. The hitter fouls the ball back to the screen, and the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2 the count. Two and two with the pitcher ready once more. Again starts to wind up, throws, and Jackie fouls this ball into the stand to the right of the plate, and it's 2-2, 2 balls and 2 strikes still on Jackie Hayes. Ernie? Well, City Series Ernie's here. How you doing, Ernie? Coffee looks all right. 2-2 is the count, and Hayes swings to the next, hit a high foul to the right of the plate. Cavaretta is coming in from first base and makes the catch just about halfway between first base and the bench, and then he threw the ball to Hartnett, who threw it back clear past him, and it goes on down the right field line where one of the boys from the bench gets it and throws it on in. And Jimmy Dyke steps up there to the plate. Dyke's up there at the plate with 1 out of the 4th inning. Warneke starts to wind up, throws, and Jim swings, hit a high bounder. Jurgis backs up and goes to his right a little, takes the ball, throws to first. Cavaretta made a swell stretch into the infield. He got that ball just off the ground and way into the infield, but Dykes is out for the second out. That makes it 2 out of the 4th inning for the Sox. And Luke Sewell is at bat. Sewell up there at the plate. But 2 out of the 4th inning for the White Sox. So the first one, Luke takes a good strike over the heart of the plate about waist high. 1 strike on Sewell. Warnke again starts to wind up. Throws and the hitter takes strike 2. Luke doesn't like that and slaps the bat on the ground a second and turns his back on the umpire. Ball just barely knee-high. It seemed to be over the heart of the plate. Luke must have thought it was a little bit low. So it's 2 strikes on Sewell with the pitcher winding up again. He throws and the hitter takes a ball. It's over the plate, but this time it was too low and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes on Luke. White Sox leading 3-1 last half of the 4th inning. Warnke again winding up, throws, and it's ball 2, wide and low. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 and 2 on Luke. And the hitter starts to swing at the next, but he tried to stop, but he went on through with it, striking out for the 3rd out. Tried to stop that swing, but the ball was the bat had started around too hard, and he couldn't pull up on it. And so he strikes out for the 3rd out in the 4th inning. No runs, no hits in the 4th inning for the Sox. And the score is still 3-1 in favor of the White Sox. Cubs coming to bat in the first half of the 5th inning with Johnny Gill, the first man up. Should I shoot this red hot before I eat it, George? You think it'd be safer? I don't know. It doesn't seem to be particularly live. It's going to taste pretty good, I'll guarantee that. I wonder how I sound when I talk a mouthful. You're working? Well, that mouthful was good. I don't know when I'll get back the next one. I'm working here. Yeah. Gill hits the first pitch, an easy bounder down to Hayes, who gets it and throws the first base. And Johnny is out for the first out in the 5th inning, bringing Bill Jurgis to bat. Stratton winds up now, throws the first one, and Jurgis swings, hit a hard bounder down to Appling, who gets it nicely, throws the first, and Jurgis is out easily for the 2nd out. That makes it 2 out in the 5th inning for the Cubs. And the next man up there, Warnke, the Cub pitcher, is walking slowly up from the bench. Gets a nice hand from the stand. It begins to look very much as though that very costly throw of his may mean the ball game if something doesn't happen, because since then he has gone along in great style, only 1 scratch hit being made off him. And the first pitch to Warnke is a wide one for a ball. Stratton waits there for the next sign, has it, he's winding up. Throws, and Dick gets ball 2, it's inside across the waist. And the count is 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes on Warnke. Stratton winding up, throws once more, and he gets that one over the outside corner, letter high for a strike. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike on Warnke. 2 out for the Cubs in the 5th. White Sox leading 3-1. There's ball 3, a wide one low, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike on Warnke. 3-1 the count. Getting the wind-up pitch, and the hitter hits the ball, a slow bounder down to Dykes, who gets it, throws the first base, and Warnke is out for the out. So Hayes, Appling, and Dykes all had a hand in retiring the side that time on throws to Benura. No runs, no hits in the first half of the 5th inning. And the White Sox still lead the Cubs by a score of 3-1. Sox is bat in the last half of the 5th with Monty Stratton, the pitcher, the first man up. There goes another mouthful. The way this kid's been pitching since he got back in that lineup, after all the operations and things, begins to look more and more as though the illness that caused him all that stay in the hospital and the long layoff to recover his strength and get back in shape may have cost the White Sox not only second place, but possibly more. Because he certainly has been a great pitcher since he got back in there as he was before he was taken ill. Stratton at bat. Warnicki's first pitch is a strike over the heart of the plate, waist high. One strike on Stratton. And Warnicki winds up, throws again. Monty swings and hits the ball hard. And Herman makes a great backhanded stop back at second base. He got the ball, throws to first. Cavaretta drops it, and the runner is safe. Herman made a wonderful stop back of second base. A great backhanded stop. Threw to first. The throw is out there. There's an error charged, but they haven't told us yet who is charged with it, whether Cavaretta for dropping the ball or Herman on the throw. The error is charged to Cavaretta for dropping the ball. It was a marvelous play by Herman, but Bill dropped the ball. So Stratton's on first base, nobody out of the fifth. Radcliffe hits the bounder down to Jurgis, who gets it, flips it to Billy Herman. He was ready to throw to first, but the ball had been hit so slowly that Radcliffe was practically at first base, and Bill held the ball, letting Radcliffe reach first without a throw. He didn't have a chance of getting his man. So Radcliffe's on first base with one out of the fifth inning, and Rosenthal is at bat. Warnicki watches first base, throws, and the hitter takes the curveball wide and low for ball one. Pitcher ready out there again. Throws, and Rosenthal fouls the ball back into the front of the second deck down below us, and it bounds back down into the field. It's 1-1. One and one is the count now on Rosenthal, left-handed hitter. Warnicki waits there again for the sign. Swings around as he gets it. And pitches, and the hitter swings it a long foul way down the left field line, back underneath the second deck, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Warnicki steps up onto the slab again, watches the plate, looks at first, then pitches, and the hitter hits the ball out through into left field for a base hit. Jurgis, who was playing pretty well to his left, couldn't get a hold of it because he had a long way to go, and as a result, the ball goes through into left field for Rosenthal's second hit of the day and 4th hit of the series. So the White Sox have runners on first and second with 1 out in the 5th inning, and Muehlhaus at bat. Warnicki ready now. Back at second base and throws, and Haas takes a wide one and was curving toward the plate, but didn't curve soon enough. And it's ball 1. 1 ball called. Warnicki throws again for ball 2. It's wide and low, and the count is 2-0 on Haas. 2 balls and no strikes. White Sox runners on first and second, 1 out in the White Sox are leading the Cubs by a score of 3-1. And the pitcher stands there waiting again. Swings around, takes another look back at second base. Then throws, and it's a strike over the heart of the plate about waist high to make the count 2-1 on Haas. 2 balls and 1 strike. Few balls and 1 strike. The pitcher waiting again. Warnicki has the sign, steps on the slab. Back at second, and throws, and the hitter swings, hit a foul. It's just up onto the roof of the stand above third base. Almost hit the front of the roof, but just eased up over it. And it's 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes on Haas.
Like old times smelling that pipe, George.
I find I can still stand it. I don't know. 2-2 is the count. Pitcher throws again, and the hitter swings to foul the ball back to the screen. It's still 2 balls and 2 strikes on Haas. Remember, White Sox runners on first and second, 1 out of the 5th inning. White Sox leading by a score of 3-1. Warnke uses the rosin bag again, rubs up the ball. Around the runners, then steps onto the slab, and is getting his sign. And pitches, and the hitter hits the ball hard toward left field. Jurgis comes up with it nicely, throws to second. Herman's throw to first, completes a double play, although Cavaretta had to make a sensational reaching catch away out to the right. A very fast and long double play. One of those plays that had to be made lightning fast or had been too late. And Cavaretta redeemed himself that time after having let the first man get the base by dropping a throw. He made a very fine play to reach way out to the right and get Herman's hasty throw to first to complete that one. So it's no run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 man left on base in the last half of the 5th inning, and the score is still 3-1 in favor of the White Sox at the end of the 5th inning. Now I think, Fred, you got a little message to say again, huh?
Yes, I have, Hal Totten. You know, you've been saying that things were coming across the letters all afternoon, so supposing we say a few letters like this is the voice of labor. WCFL, Chicago.
Oh, I guess I see what you got to do. Be a studio announcer. You got to be able to come up with things like that. Quickies, huh?
Oh, I get it. Should have taken longer, though, Fred. I'm still chewing. Here we go in the 6th inning. Galan at bat started off with the Cubs. And the first pitch is too low. It's ball 1. 1 ball on Galan. White Sox leading 3-1. Augie swings the next. It's a high fly into center field. Rosenthal's going back, and he's under it now. Has it. It's 1 out in the 6th inning. 1 out of the 6th inning for the Cubs, and Cavaretta is at bat. Bill Cavaretta up there at the plate. Yeah, Mr. Rosenthal was throwing divots as he raced back for that one. Stopped up. Stratton throws the first one, and Phil swings at a high one, tried to get around on it, but he topped it and hit it down toward the first base coach's box where Johnny Corden gets it, throws it back to the pitcher. It's 1 strike on Cavaretta. That with 1 out for the Cubs in the 6th inning. Stratton throws again, and Phil takes the curve ball inside and low. The ball bounced into the air out of the catcher's glove, landed out in front of the plate. And the pitcher winds up once more, throws, the hitter swings and fouls the ball back to the screen. And it's 1-2, 1 ball and 2 strikes. One and 2 now with the pitcher ready again. He winds up, throws, and Phil lines the ball into center field for a base hit. A single to center field by Cavaretta, putting him on first base with nobody out in the 6th inning. And Billy Herman up there at the plate. Billy, who hasn't had a base hit in the series so far, and who had a terrific slump at the end of the season, making only about 2 hits in his last 5 or 6 games. Herman at bat, 1 out of the 6th inning. Cavaretta on first base. Score 3-1 in favor of the White Sox. And Herman takes the first pitch in by his shoulders for ball 1. Ball call. It's ready again. Throws for a strike. A beauty over the heart of the plate, just about let her high, and the hitter let it go by. So it's 1-1. 1-1 is the count. And there is a ball wide and low, making it 2 balls and 1 strike on Billy Herman. 2-1. Once again, the pitch is ready. He throws and the hitter swings a high foul coming back toward us, lands just in front of us in the second. Fan caught it there, and of course is catching it. Landed him kerplunk back in his chair there, and it's 2-2 on Billy Herman. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Outfielder's playing him fairly deep, a little bit to the right. Haas is playing him pretty well toward the line, and Rosenthal a little bit toward right center. And the next one, Herman tried to get away from it, but the ball curved in and hit him on the right wrist or right hand. Charlie Grimm comes tearing in from the coach's box and apparently hurt him pretty much. And Luke Sewell bends over him. Stratton comes in to take a look. And the trainer, Andy Latshaw, comes running in. Woody English, the captain, running out of the bench up there at the plate. That ball seemed to sail as it got up there at the plate. Here comes Doc Davis now, the club physician. Well, they'll have a real delegation up there. When Herman shows any signs of being hurt that way, you can count on it. He's plenty hurt because he's one of these boys that doesn't show much in the way of emotion when he gets bumped or cut or anything else. And that ball seemed to hang out there in front of him. He started to step one way and then another, and then it shot in toward him and hit him. Doc Davis is now working on his wrist to see whether it might possibly be fractured, or if he can see any signs of it, he'll go right out of there. And they're all standing around. In the meantime, Cavaretta had gone to second base and is standing out there talking to Appling. Hayes also there. Herman walks away from the crowd and stands there and leans over on his knee. Charlie Grimm talking to him, telling him if he doesn't feel all right to get out of there. And Billy probably wants to stay in. Stratton starts back to the mound to throw a few to Sewell. Keep loosened up there while the rest of the boys still gather around. Jimmy Dykes, the manager of the Sox, is also up there, taking a big look, and Benura's in there also. Herman finally decides to go on down to first base. That right arm is hanging alongside of him. He walks down there, but he gets a nice hand. Benura walking alongside of him, the two of them talking. Well, he finally reaches first base. And the next man up there is Frank Demarine. Now the White Sox start a couple of pitches warming up in the bullpen. Kane and the inevitable Mr. Brown warming up out there. And here is Demarine at bat. Cub runners on first and second, 1 out in the 6th inning. And Demarine hits the first one, a line drive to Hayes, who gets it, throws back to Benura for a double play. A line smash right into Hayes' hands. He didn't have to move out of his tracks to get it. And a quick throw to first base. Doubles Herman and ends the threat just like that. Bang, without any delay at all. It's no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base in the first half of the 6th inning. And the score is still 3-1 in favor of the White Sox. White Sox at bat in the last half of the 6th with Benura the first man up there. Benura the first man at bat. That ball was really tagged. That's the kind of a ball that all the New York writers cry about every time DiMaggio hits one that gets caught. Always a foot to the right or a foot to the left, and it would have been a 2-base hit. The trouble is, a foot to the right or a foot to the left doesn't mean a thing if you hit it right at somebody. Woody English is going in to play second base now, and Billy Herman tried to throw a ball, couldn't control it, and is walking off. English is playing second base. That injury was just too much for Billy. And Herman gets a hand as he walks off the field. Pitcher Warnke out there gets his time, starts, throws, and the hitter hits the ball right to the good hard line single. That ball all but back right out. Warnke is good with by him. And first base with nobody on the White Sox for the White Sox. The White Sox league leading hitter, major league leading hitter, shortstop, right-handed hitter is at bat. Benura on first base, Appling up there at the plate with nobody out in the 6th inning. Warnke ready, pitches, and Appling drives the ball into right field for another base hit. Right fielder Demarine grabs the ball, fumbles it, but picks it up again, and Benura turns and goes back to second base. And it's Appling's second hit of the game and third hit of the series. So the White Sox have runners on first and second, nobody up. And Jackie Hayes is up there at the plate. Boy who has done great work the latter part of the season and proved at least he's justified things I said about him for 3-4 years when he really had his chance and got in there and could bear down. What a second baseman and tough hitter he is, although not only tough this year, he hit .312 for the season, which is a lot of hits. Cubs again start Henshaw warming up and Root. Henshaw and Root warming up in the right field bullpen, and the Sox are keeping a pitcher warmed up down their side of the field. Kane. And now Hayes bunts the first one. Hack gets it, throws the first. English getting over there to take the throw on the sacrifice, and it moves the runners to second and third. With only one out in the sixth inning, and Jimmy Dykes, always dangerous in a pinch, is up there at the plate. Now we have one of those tough pitchers in the pinch against a tough hitter in the pinch, and we'll see what happens. The infield playing in part way to the infield grass, not all the way, and they're going to walk Dykes and take a chance on Sewell. Going to walk Dykes on purpose. It isn't so much to take a chance on Sewell as it is to get the bases full where forced plays are possible. As it is now, there's no chance of a forced play, and so they want to get those bases full for that reason and gamble on that proposition. There's the fourth ball, and Dykes gets the base on. He took the fourth one wide. Gabby started to throw the ball to third as Dykes walked across in front of him. He didn't intend to, and so Dykes turned around and acted as though he was going to be real mad at Gabby, and as he swung the bat back at him to throw it to the bat boy, he swung it right across in front of Leo, and that caused a laugh from everybody. Now the bases are full with one out in the sixth inning, and Luke Sewell, another dangerous boy with the bases occupied out there, takes the first pitch inside and low for a ball. The infielders have moved back. That is the second baseman and shortstop moved back. First and third baseman still in fairly close. He winds up once more, throws, and the hitter hits a beauty into center field for a base hit. And Deland races over to get it. One run in, second run scoring. Dykes pulling up at third base. And a shot single to center field by Sewell. Scores Benura. Scores Appling. And puts Dykes on third base. So the White Sox have runners on first and third. One out. 2 runs home in the sixth inning. They're now leading the Cubs by a score of 5-1, the same score by which they won yesterday. And Monty Stratton, White Sox pitcher, is coming up there to the plate. Stratton at bat. Old Lucius Luke, same way as he did all through the season when there were runs out there to score. You could almost always count on Sewell getting a hold of one, hitting it somewhere. Stratton hits the first pitch, a drive into left field for another base hit. Gill is coming down there. The runner first going for third. Gill gets the ball, throws it into third base. The runner bound slides in, and the ball bounds out past third base. Jurgis gets over there, gets it, but Stratton slides into second base. Ball bounded and hit the runner as he slid into third. And then as Hack stood there looking for it, Stratton tore for second. Jurgis had to come all the way over to get the ball and throw it to second base. And as a result, the runners are on second and third with another run home. And Mr. Stratton still appearing as a base hitter of considerable worth and merit as he did in that last game of the season. George, did you notice whether they called an error on that throw-in or not? Did anybody look up to see? And now, Henshaw on who? Error on Hack. For heaven's sake, they call an error on Hack, and he never had the ball in his hands. How do you figure that out? Well, that's all right. Henshaw is coming in now into the infield to relieve Warneke. And Lon turns and starts over to the dugout. And Henshaw, Little Roy, who is a Southsider, lived out here in this part of town and went to school out here at the University of Chicago, is now pitching for the Cubs. White Sox have 3 runs home, 1 out, still have runners on second and third. And Ratcliffe is the next hitter. Henshaw finishing the warm-up. Bases Ratcliffe now. Ratcliffe up there. Henshaw starts to wind up, throws, and it's a very bad ball, wide and low for ball one. Waits out there again, winds up once more. And there's ball two, another ball that breaks too wide, and the count is 2-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Roy waiting there for the next sign. Has it, he winds up and pitches for ball three, another ball that curves altogether too wide and low, and it's 3-0. Now, in addition to the fact Root has stopped warming up and Bryant is warming up for the Cubs. Henshaw gets his sign, winds up again. Throws, and the hitter takes strike one. It's over the heart of the plate, just a little below the waist, to run the count to 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. And ball 4 comes by wide and low. Ratcliffe gets the base on balls, and the bases are full. Rosenthal up there now. Rosenthal at bat, already the leading hitter of the series, and robbed a 1 hit a little while ago on a good fielding play. Made 2 hits so far today, 2 yesterday. Larry Rosenthal at bat, and the first pitch curves pretty wide and low for ball 1. Coming up there at the plate and then curved very sharply and way outside. So it's 1 ball called. Henshaw waits out there again, gets the sign, winds up, throws for a strike over the inside corner waist high to make the count 1 ball and 1 strike on Rosenthal. 1-1 the count. Henshaw winds up again, pitches, the hitter fouls the ball above into the left of the plate into the second deck, and it's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Rosenthal. 1-2 the count. Waiting out there again, takes quite a while. Finally starts to wind up. Throws, and Larry swings, hit a ball hard down to Cabrera, who grabs for it, and it bounds away from him and gets back to English, who throws the first to get the runner, but the runner is safe. Cabrera, after fumbling the ball, started after it, but English waved him back to first, and by the time he got back there, the runner is safe, and is charged as another error for Cabrera, who missed tagging the bag. That rule is definitely covered. When a man fails to tag a base, why, he is charged with an error. And now here is Mule Haas at bat. Haas up there at the plate. Pitch for a ball wide, bases still full. Winds up again, throws, and it's a wide one low for ball 2, and Hartnett turns around, speaks a little piece about that one. Four runs home this inning. White Sox now leading 7-1. Jurgis comes over and talks to Henshaw for a moment. Roy throws again, and it's a strike over the heart of the plate above knee high, and Mule naturally playing the string out of ways, let it go by. So it's 2-1. Infield playing in very close. Bases full. Only 1 out, 4 runs home in the 6th. Henshaw again winding up, throws, and it's very wide and low for ball 3. Way outside, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. 3-1 on Haas. Henshaw waiting out there again. Winds up. Throws, and Mule gets ball 4. It's wide, and a run is forced across the plate. The run is forced home as Haas walks. The 5th run of the inning, and the White Sox lead 8-1. And English walks in to talk to Hartnett a moment and looks over toward the bench as though they may expect Bryant to come in there. Base is still full. 5 runs home in the 6th inning. English is talking to umpire Ormsby, who turns to tell the field announcer what to announce, and the pitcher starts in the right field bullpen. Hartnett's out there talking to Henshaw, leaning on his shoulder. Roy frankly, he had a curveball breaking off today. It was just about as tough a looking curveball as I've looked at for a long time. But he didn't have control of it, and Henshaw is one of these type of young pitchers that if the control isn't there, he doesn't have much chance of going anywhere. He had that ball breaking a foot to a foot and a half many times, never less than 6 or 8 inches, and breaking a little bit too far away from the plate. As a result, he was in the hole most of the time and ended up by walking that man to force in a run. However, there was a chance of his being out of the inning if Cabret had fielded the ball hit right at him. He wasn't charged with an error on that, but he was charged with an error when he failed to touch first after taking the throwback of the ball from English. Now Clay Bryant, big husky right-handed pitcher, is out there on the mound finishing his warm-up. Bryant finishes the warm-up and is ready now as Zeke Benora steps up at the plate. Clay takes a look around, see where everybody's playing out there, now gets ready to pitch the first one to Benora. Winds up and throws, and Zeke takes the curveball wide for ball 1. 1 ball called. Ready again, starts to wind up, throws, and it's ball 2. It's over the plate, but too low, and the count is 2-0 on Benora. Nothing is the count, but the pitcher ready again. And they're watching the plate, gets his sign, he's winding up. And throws, and Zeke jumps back to take the third ball, a bad one, and he may walk the fourth in another run. The count. And the next one comes down the middle for a strike. Zeke put on a big act that time. Started for first base. The ball was cut the heart of the plate waist high. Couldn't have been more of a strike anywhere. It's 3-1, 3 balls and 1 strike on Benora. Bryant rubbing up the ball again. And ball 4 comes inside, and Zeke also gets a base on ball. And another run is forced across the plate. 6th run of the inning, bringing Luke Appling to bat, with the White Sox leading now by a score of 9-1 in the 6th inning. White Sox leading 9-1. I guess they saw what the Yankees did down there in New York and decided they had to put on a big inning too, huh? Luke Appling up there. Bryant starts to wind up, throws, and Luke takes a high one inside for ball 1. A slow ball, change of pace. Root is warming up now for the Cubs again. Winding up, throws once more, and it's a strike. Curveball breaking away from the hitter. Caught the inside corner about waist high to make it 1-1. 1-1. If it's the next one, a beauty into left center for a base hit. 2 more runs are scoring. The runner for first, carrying for third, and Gill's throw is very wide. By the time Hack recovers it, Appling has raced to second. Line single to left center by Appling, scoring Rosenthal and Haas. With 2 more runs. 8 runs this inning. White Sox now leading by a score of 11-1, and they still have runners on second and third. With only 1 out, the 1 out being a sacrifice by Hayes, who was now at bat earlier in the inning. Infield still playing back as Jackie takes the first pitch for a strike over the heart of the plate, waist high. And there's the ball, making the count 1 ball and 1 strike on Hayes. 1-1 the count. Bryant winds up, throws again. Jackie swings in a high bounder. Bryant gets it. The runners hold their bases, so he throws to first, getting Hayes for the second out. Making it 2 out in the 7th inning and bringing Dykes to bat. Dykes up there at the plate. Dykes was walked purposely with runners on 2nd and 3rd earlier in the inning, but that strategy didn't work when Mr. Stool stepped up there and smacked one. And Dykes hits a foul down to Billy Webb, coaching at 3rd. He grabs it, throws it out to Hack. Goes on around the Cub infield, which still seems to be showing a lot of fire, although they're way behind right now. Winds up, throws again, and Dykes takes a slow one, the curve ball wide for ball 1, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. 1-1 the count. Bryant throws again, and Dykes falls down under one that almost hit him in the shoulders, and he takes it for ball 2. So the count is 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 on Dykes. Ready once more, starts to wind up, throws, and it's a ball that hits the bat and hits the ground, and then bounded foul clear over to stand to the right of the plate. It's still 2-2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bryant waits there, rubbing up that ball pretty carefully. Finally starts his wind-up and throws, and Dykes... Dykes did the same thing that time he did before, and he looked at the bat, and he looked at the plate, and he said, I couldn't do it again if I tried. He starts to swing, and then as he pulls back, he doesn't pull back quick enough. The ball hits the bat and bounds down onto the plate, and then caroms clear over to the right against the stand. 2-2, and there's ball 3. It's inside across the waist to make it 3 balls and 2 strikes on Jimmy Dykes. 3-2 the count. Three and two now. Throws again, and it's ball 4 wide, and Dykes gets his second walk of the inning. Once more filling the bases for Mr. Lucius Luke Steele. Mr. Steele is up there again, of the Ohio, but formerly of the Alabama Steeles. He singled with the bases full earlier in the inning to drive in the first 2 of these 8 runs that have scored. White Sox are leading 11-1 in the last half of the 6th. And Sewell takes the first pitch, a curve ball wide and low for ball 1. Waits there again, has the sign. He's winding up. Throws, and Sewell swings at a pop fly, which English is calling for. He has it. It's 3 out, and they finally retire the side. And of course, the White Sox fans come up with a big howl because they've been waiting for this all year. In fact, for several years. Very several. In the last half of the 6th inning, there were 8 runs. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 errors, and 3. And the score is 11-1 in favor of the White Sox at the end of the 6th inning. First man at bat for the Cubs in the 7th will be Hack. And now Mr. Stratton doesn't have a very difficult job. Getting one more bite of his dog, doesn't he? Hey, some of the Cubs fans are spinning. They're standing up. This isn't a hot dog now, it's an ice dog. Cold puppy. Here we go in the seventh inning. Stanley Hackett bats for the Cubs. Stratton starts to wind up. Pitches. Stan takes the curveball and catches the outside corner knee high for a strike. One strike on Hack. Stratton throws again. The hitter swings and it's a bounder down to Hayes. It goes to his left to get it. Throws to first. And Stan is out for the first out in the seventh inning. One out in the seventh inning for the Cubs. And Gabby Hartnett is at bat. Gabby takes the first one for a strike. It's over the heart of the plate, but down just about knee high, not much more than that. One strike. And he hits the next one, a beauty down past third base, going on down with Radcliffe tearing over for it. Gabby makes the turn, but stops at first, goes back there. On the throw comes in from Radcliffe. Gabby, as we've mentioned, is no particular gazelle on his feet. And while most fellas might have had a double on that, Gabby played it safe. I mean, after all, you crouch around behind that plate as many years as he has, and you won't be doing much gazelling either. Allen is going out there to run now in place of Hartnett. Allen running for Hartnett. And Gabby gets ahead in the front of the fans. He walks over to the bench. And Gill steps up there taking the first pitch over the plate, but too low, and it's ball one. One ball called. He throws again, and Johnny fouls the ball on the ground to the right of the plate. That makes it 1-1. One ball and one strike on Johnny Gill. Stratton waits out there, slaps the ball into the glove a couple of times, uses the rosin bag, steps up on the slab, swings around ready to pitch. Pitches, and it's a high one wide for ball two, making the count 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 is the count. He's ready out there again. He throws, and Gill hits a long drive away up deep right field, but it's foul. Foul against the right field wall. Wouldn't have gone in, but it was outside by several feet. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes on Gill. Husky, left-handed hitter. Stratton used the rosin bag, has another ball to pitch. He's ready once again, swings around as he gets the sign. And pitches, and Gill swings, hit a pop foul to the left of the plate. Sewell is over there waiting for it, has it, and it's 2 out of the 7th inning. Jurgens up there now, 2 out of the 7th inning for the Cubs. Allen running for Hartnett, still on first base. Score 11-1. Favor the White Sox. He throws, and Jurg takes a strike over the outside corner about waist high. 1 strike on Jurgens. Ready out there again. Throws. And he brings in a high fly to short center field. Hayes is going back. Rosenthal coming in. And Jackie lets Larry come on in to make the catch after a long run for the 3rd out. And it ends the first half of the 7th inning with no runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. And now the White Sox crowd, which is by far the biggest percentage of this audience today, steps up for it. 7th inning stretch. And with a few cheers and yells, they get the old kinks out of the legs as the White Sox come in there to take their turn at bat. In the last half of the 7th inning, with Monty Stratton, the first man up. Stratton, who, as I said, in the latter part of the season, last couple of games hit very well and has hit hard today. Only a great play robbed him of a base hit in the 5th, and then he hit one in the 6th and hit it plenty hard to drive in a run, and he later scored one himself. Ken O'Day is now out there to catch for the Cubs. And the first man at bat in the seventh inning is Monty Stratton. Were you saying you wanted to say something, Mr. Fowler?
Yes, Al Cotton. All I'd like to say is this is the voice of labor. WCFL, Chicago.
Well, if that's what you wanted to say, that's perfectly okay. I don't know why you shouldn't say it. In fact, you did say it. Here's Stratton at bat, start the last half of the seventh. He swings hard and misses the first one for a strike. One strike on Stratton. Bryant waiting out there again, has the sign, starts to wind up. And pitches and Monty swings, hit a high fly and it's left center. Deland is jogging in under it. He's waiting, has it, and it's one out in the seventh inning for the Sox. One out in the seventh, and Rip Ratcliffe, White Sox left fielder, is up there at the plate. Ratcliffe at bat. Winds up, throws the first one, and the Ripper takes a wide one across the waist for ball one. One ball called. It's ready once more, winds up again, throws, and it's a strike over the outside corner above the knees, so the count is 1 ball and 1 strike on Ratcliffe. 1-1 the count. Bryant again taking that swinging wind up. Throws a slow one which Rip lets float wide and low, a curve ball for ball 2. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike on the Ripper. 2-1 the count. He winds up, throws again for ball 3 wide across the waist. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike on Ratcliffe. 3-1. Ready out there, winds up, throws again, and it's a strike over the outside corner across the knees to make it 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Ratcliffe. 3-2 the count. He swings again to hit a bounder. English is in front of it, gets it, throws the first, and it's 2 out in the seventh inning. 2 out of the seventh inning for the Sox. And Larry Rosenthal again is at bat. He's made 4 hits and 8 times at bat in the series. Appling has 4 hits and 6 times at bat, so he's now the league leader, the series leading hitter. And here's the first pitch to Rosenthal. It takes a wide one across the waist for a strike, off the outside corner at that. No, it was a ball. I looked at the board. I didn't see the umpire's hand go up, and the board showed a strike. But they changed it to a ball. So it's ball 1. And there's ball 2 wide across the waist, making it 2-0, 2 balls and no strikes on Rosenthal. Nothing is the count. It's ready again. Winds up, throws, and Larry swings and misses a curveball, a slow curve for strike 1, making it 2 balls and 1 strike. Rosen. 1-1 the count. Bryant taking that easy wind up, throws again. Larry gets strike 2, a fast one over the outside corner, a little below the waist, to make it 2 balls and 2 strikes on Rosenthal. 2-2 the count. She's winding up. Throws again, and it's a high one that hits the catcher's glove, bounds off to the left of the plate, and it's still 3-2. 3 balls and 2 strikes on Larry. And 2 is the count with the pitcher ready once more. He starts to wind up again. And the hitter swings the foul ball back to the screen. It's still 3 balls and 2 strikes. Still 3-2 on Rosenthal. Three and 2 with the pitcher ready once more. Winding up. And he pitches for ball 4. Lowry gets the base on ball. Puts him on first base with 2 outs in the 7th inning, and Mule Haas is at bat. Haas up there at the plate. Bryant has the sign. He's ready. He's at first base. Throws, and the hitter takes the ball. It's inside and low. Day comes up with it ready. Springer and Rosenthal, a fast man, might be on the way or have a big lead. And, of course, the rumor still is naturally over in this league, same as in the National, that his throwing isn't all it should be, perhaps. Still watching first base. Throws, and the hitter takes a wide one across the knees for ball 2. And the count is 2-0, 2 balls and no strikes on Haas. 2-0 the count. There's a sign out there again. And pitches, and it's ball 3. Well, it's wide across the waist. Now O'Day suddenly looks at the ball, asks for another one, and without further ado, umpire Ormsby hands it to him, throwing the other one out and over to the Sox bench without even examining it, and the count is 3-0. 3 balls and no strikes. Balls and no strikes. It's ready out there again. Throws, and it's a high one wide for ball 4. And Haas also gets the base on ball, moving Rosenthal to second base. And the White Sox have runners on first and second. 2 out in the 7th inning. And Zeke Ventura is at bat. Ventura up there at the plate. Out there, wipes his hands dry, swings around the flat. And the first pitch is so close to Zeke, he has to almost fall down to get away from it and take it for ball 1. O'Day grabs the ball, throws it back out there to the pitcher, and Bryant waits there again. Swings around on the rubber, looks back at second, pitches, and it's ball 2. It's inside and low. Bryant's control is ordinarily pretty good, but it certainly isn't out there today. He walked a couple men in his in the 6th inning, and now he's walked 2 already in the 7th. As runners on first and second with 2 out. White Sox leading 11-1. Bryant throws again, and it's a strike. It gets the outside corner across the shoulders to make it 2 balls and 1 strike. 1 is the count. And Zeke swings in a high fly foul to the right of the plate. O'Day's jogging down there, calling for the ball. Has it, and it's 3 out, ending the 7th inning. No runs, no hits, 2 men left on base for the White Sox. And at the end of the 7th inning, the White Sox are leading the Cubs by a score of 11-1. A rather overwhelming margin in any man's league. Now somebody's going to come to bat in place. Lillard coming to bat in place of Bryant in the last half of the 7th inning. Or rather, the first half of the 8th inning. Still, it's hard to figure a Chicago team is up to start an inning. I don't know. When you talk about Cubs or White Sox, you always figure them the second team at bat. Start of the 8th inning. Lillard is batting for Bryant. Right-handed hitter steps up there to the plate. And Stratton's first pitch is inside and low for ball 1. 1 ball called. Monty winds up again, throws, and the hitter takes a strike over the inside corner waist high. And the count is 1 ball and 1 strike on Lillard. 1-1 the count. Ball 2, a curveball very wide and low, runs the count 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bryant gets the sign again, winds up, throws, and Gene swings it a slow bounder down the third baseline. Dykes comes in nicely and fires the ball across the infield with Ventura digging it out of the dirt and hanging onto it for the first out in the 8th inning. 1 out in the 8th inning for the Cubs. And Augie Gallant, leadoff man and center fielder, steps up there to the plate. Gallant is back. One of the warm-up balls in the Sox bullpen somehow or other got clear off the back of the shortstop position in left field, so they had to call time while Appling went back to get it and throw it over to the warm-up catcher there. Now Gallant watches the first pitch come over the outside corner a little above the knees for strike one. One strike to count. He winds up again, throws, and it's a slow one that slips inside and low for ball one. Make the count 1 ball and 1 strike on Gallant. 1-1 the count. Throws once more, and Augie gets the ball 2 wide and low. So it's 2 balls and 1 strike. 2-1 with the pitcher ready again. Waits out there for the sign. He has it. He's winding up. Throws, and Augie gets the 3rd ball wide. And it's 3 balls and 1 strike on Gallant. 3-1. Stratton winding up. Throws again, and Augie gets the 2nd strike. It's over the outside corner, waist high. And Augie, who made the usual start at first, comes back to the plate. 3-1, 3-2 rather. And Gallant swings at an easy pounder out to Hayes, who gets it on the second hop, throws to first, and Augie is out for the second out of the 8th inning. 2 out in the 8th inning for the Cubs, and Cavaretta is up there at the plate. Cavaretta swings and drives the ball into center field for another base hit. His 2nd hit of the game. And it puts Bill on first base with 2 out in the 8th inning. And Woody English up there. Woody, who replaced Billy Herman after Herman was hit in the right arm or wrist with a pitch ball. Throws the first one, and Woody gets a good strike. It's over the heart of the plate, a little above the knees. 1 strike on English. Ready once more, throws, and Woody takes a wide one. The catcher throws the ball to first, but Cavaretta went back standing up, leading a throw. He was all ready to slide, but he saw that Sewell's throw was a little bit low and outside the bag, so he came in standing up. It's 1-1, 1 ball and 1 strike on English. And he hits the next for a high foul down the right field line and back into the stands. Cavaretta was around second base, but he turns and strolls back to first. Quite a scramble for that ball down there in the stands. 1-2 to count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And Woody started for the next one, but stopped and pulled back to take it inside across the waist for the 2nd ball. That makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes on Woody English. The bat for the Cubs in the 8th inning with 2 outs. Cavaretta on first base. White Sox leading 11-1. Stratton ready again, throws, and it's ball 3 high and inside. Run the count to 3-2 on Ellie. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Stratton rubs the ball up a little bit, then walks back onto the rubber. He's ready to pitch once more. With a runner on the go on the 3-2 count, the hitter hits another foul. One of the fans missed the ball over there, and it bounded out of his hand, started bounding along the front, just under the railing. Just before it dropped over, some other fan managed to grab it and keep it upstairs. 3-2 is the count. It's ready again. Throws, and English hits a high fly to right field. Hart is going back under it, still going back, and grabs it and hit his glove and bounds over against the stand. English pulls up at second base, and Cavaretta is scoring. And it's a long 2-base hit to the base of the wall in right field. Hart seemed undecided for a moment, and then when he did start going back, as hard as he could go, he couldn't quite reach it, and it hit his glove. So I really want Boylan to remember it, George. I think that's the Mona, isn't it? No, that's the train. As soon as you open the door, I can tell which one it was. Giving us the whistle as usual. And now Demery at bat takes the first one for a strike over the outside corner about knee high. One strike count. Score now 11-2 in favor of the White Sox. English on second base, 2 out, 1 run home, and Demery takes the ball wide, and the count is 1-1. 1 ball and 1 strike on Demery. Side swings around, ready once more, throws, and Frank hits a pop fly out. Back of Appling. Lucas back in the grass calling for the ball. He has it, and it's 3 out in the 8th inning. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 man left on base. In the first half of the 8th inning, for the Cubs. And going into the last half of the 8th, the score is 11-2 in favor of the White Sox. Charlie Root, center and right-hander of the Cubs, is walking in to resume the pitching chores, and Charlie Grimm is waiting out there. Charlie gets a hand from the fans as he's announced. Going through his warm-up out there. With Appling standing over here with his hand on his hip and leaning on the bat watching him. He'll be the first man facing. This is by far not Charlie Root's first City Series game. Charlie finishes the warm-up and Luke steps up there to the plate. Appling at bat starts the last half of the 8th inning. Starts to wind up, throws, and Luke jumps back to take a ball inside and low for ball 1. 1 ball call. He's winding up again, pitches, and Appling hits an easy bounder right back at Root, who gets it, throws the first, and Appling is out for the first out in the 8th inning. 1 out in the 8th inning for the White Sox, and Jackie Hayes is at bat. Winds up and throws, and Jackie swings it, a high fly out into center field, and Galan racing in makes the catch for the second out. He had to go pretty well over toward right center to make that catch on the run, and it's 2 out in the 8th inning with Jimmy Dykes now at bat. Who gets the sign, starts to wind up, throws, and Dyke swings and misses a curveball for strike 1. 1 strike on Jim. One strike to count, but you're ready out there once more. Takes the time, gets the sign, starts to wind up, throws, and it's a wide one across the waist for a ball, making it 1 strike on Dyke. And there's a strike over the heart of the plate, waste time, making it 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jim. 1-2 the count. And the hitter swings the next one. The hitter slow bounded on the third base line. Hack comes in, makes a one-handed pickup, throws to first, and as Cavaretta dug the ball out from in front of the runner, Jimmy almost knocked him over, and he beats it out for a base hit. Dykes is on first base, 2 out in the 8th inning, and Sewell is at bat. He takes the first one for a ball, and Root walks back onto the mound again. And the hitter hits the next one, a drive into center field, but Galan is waiting for it out there, has it, and it's 3 outs, ending the 8th inning with no runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left on base for the White Sox. And at the end of the 8th inning, the White Sox are leading the Cubs by a score of 11-2. Stratton's out there now, getting ready to pitch the 9th inning, which should be the last half inning, judging the way things are going and the way he's been going, which is in good shape. Down here, one of the doctors got to get in touch with some of the office department. Here's Stanley Hackett bat to start the 9th inning for the Cubs. Stratton stands there getting his sign. Throws, and it's a strike over the heart of the plate about knee high. 1 strike on Hack. And there's a ball inside and low, so the count is 1 ball and 1 strike on Stan. 1-1 the count. And he swings again, a foul one into the stand to the left of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Hack. 1-2 the count. Stratton winding up, throws again, and Hack takes a high one wide for ball 2. And it makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes on Stanley. 2-2 is the count. And the hitter hits the next one and bounded back over the pitcher's head. It goes through into center field for a base hit. Signal to center field by Hack, putting him on first base to open the 9th inning and bringing Ken O'Day, who has taken over the catching chore since Hartlett gave way to a pinch runner in the 7th. Ken O'Day at bat. Stratton ready, throws the first one, and O'Day takes a curveball inside and low for ball 1. 1 ball called. Throws the next one, and Ken swings it. A bounder down to Hayes to get it. Throws to second base. Appling's throw to first is too late to get the runner there. And Hack is forced at second to play, going Hayes to Appling for the first out in the 9th inning, leaving O'Day on first base with 1 out. And Johnny Gill is at bat. Gill up there at the plate. Gill at bat, but you're ready out there again. And the hitter swings to foul this one into the stand above and to the left of the plate. And it's 1 strike. 1 strike on Gill. But you're ready out there once more. Throws, and Johnny fouls this one back onto the net back of the plate. Right to the count with the pitcher waiting out there again. Johnny swings around as he gets his sign, throws, and it's a ball that gets away from Sewell, bounds out to the right, but not far enough to let the runner advance. And so it's 1-2 still, strike. O'Day is on first base with 1 out of the 9th inning for the Cubs. White Sox leading 11-2. Finally has his sign again, takes another look at first, and throws. And the hitter hits the ball hard into right field for a base hit. O'Day makes the turn at second, keeps right on for third. Haas gets the ball and throws it in to second base. Single to right field by Gill. His second hit of the game. Moving O'Day to third. And bringing Bill Jurgis to bat. Jurgis up there at the plate. Jurg hits a line foul into the spot seat down just beyond the Cub dugout back at first base. Apparently everybody got out of the way of it before that ball went in there like a bullet. And it's 1 strike. And a hitter hits the next one, a drive in the center field for a good clean base hit. One run is in, and Gill keeps right on and pulls up at third base. Single to center field by Jurgis, and currently Charlie Grimm is going to bat now in place of Charlie Root. Jurgis single to center, scores O'Day. The Cubs' third run of the game, making it 11-3. And Grimm is getting a hand from the fans as he walks out of the dugout. Some fans who are letting their rabidness getting a little bit the better of their sporting spirit are uttering a few boos, and there's no need for such a thing. Grimm is up there batting now in place of Charlie Root. Club runners on first and third, and he hits the first one, an easy bounder back at Stratton, who gets it, throws hard to second base, and the throw to first base, a double play, and the game is over. Bonora comes running in, throwing the ball into the air, and tearing for the bench, and it's a double play. The play going from Stratton to Appling to Bonora for the second and third out, ending the ninth inning, and the Sox win 11-2. In the ninth, Cubs had 1 run, 3 hits, 1 man left on base. And the total for the ball game, White Sox had 11 runs, 9 hits, no errors. With, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 9 men left on the bases. The Cubs had 3 runs. Let's see, they had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 hits, and 4 errors. With 6 men left on the bases. The time of the game, 1 hour and 58 minutes. The winning pitcher was Stratton, and the losing pitcher was Warnicki. The totals again, giving the White Sox a 2-0 lead in the City Series. White Sox had 11 runs, 9 hits, no errors, with 9 men left on the bases. Cubs had 3 runs, 10 hits, 4 errors, and 6 men left on the bases. Time of the game, 1 hour and 58 minutes. The winning pitcher was Stratton, the losing pitcher, Warnicki. Tomorrow, the same 2 teams play here at Comiskey Park, also on Sunday, in the 3rd and 4th games of the City Series. We won't be on the air with it tomorrow, will we, George? Because it seems that we got a little football to do out to at good old Northwestern. You'll be comforting my old pal Dick Hanley, and in the next booth I'll be bearing down on one of our other stations. So, I mean, we'll have a lot of fun out there. But that concludes this broadcast. The Mona was a little bit late today, but he got his whistle in just in time to get on the air. So, the final score today, 11-3. That means that the White Sox have won 2 games in a row, and tomorrow they're going to try to make it 3. Well, the Cubs have really got to come back tomorrow and do something. 4th game on Sunday. We will be with you then, won't we? Okay, games at 2 o'clock tomorrow and Sunday, but that's all for now. So Hal Totten is speaking for George, old Uncle George and his pipe here, trying to bid you good afternoon from Comiskey Park and return to the studio. Bye now.
WCFL in Chicago. Men, you'll save money by... All Totten presents Steak and other ready-to-eat cereals presents All Totten. When you eat a bowl of Kellogg's cornflakes, millions of other people are also enjoying them. The Kellogg Company of Battle Creek, Michigan, buy only the best of ingredients. Their products are manufactured in the spick and span plant, and they're packed in the big white, red, and green packages with the patented inner wax type wrapper. Made fresh and kept fresh. Kellogg's cornflakes have that Kellogg flavor which has been famous since 1906, the year that the original cornflakes were introduced. They're toasted to a crispness that lasts. Try Kellogg's cornflakes for breakfast tomorrow. They are especially good with some preserved fruit or honey, and they're fine for that after-school lunch for the children. But when you go to your grocer's, always be sure. Never say cornflakes. Say Kellogg's. And now, here's Hal Totten.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well,
tonight's the night the American Leaguers say, I told you so. All you American League fans get busy and chortle. Because it was an American League day all the way down the line. Them there Yankees evened up the series with the Giants, and if there was any doubt about their evening it up, well, the score was 18-4. Of course, the last 6 of those 8 runs were made in the 9th inning, but they were made. The Yankees had 18 runs, 17 hits, and no errors. To the Giants, 4 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. The batteries for the Yankees, Gomez and Dickey. For the Giants, Schumacher, Smith, Kaufman, Gabler, Gumbert, and Mancuso. Here in Chicago, the White Sox made it to 2 straight over the Cubs, winning also very decisively 11-3. The White Sox had 11 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The Cubs 3 runs, 10 hits, and 4 errors. The batteries for the White Sox, Stratton and Sewell. For the Cubs, Warnke, Henshaw, Bryant, Root, and Hartnett O'Day. I don't know just what to say about those things, and yet I guess I do. That Yankee game down there in New York, when the Yankee power really started and turned on the heat, more or less, emphasized the fact that the Giants are really, in this series, one Carl Hubbell. It's pretty hard to say at any time that a ball club is no stronger than any one man, but if Schumacher can't do it, and Smith couldn't stop them, then I don't know what they can expect in a case like this. For the simple reason that now Hubbell has almost certainly got to come back tomorrow. There's a good chance he won't, that's true. There's a good chance somebody else, and he's a pretty good... But if Fitzsimmons pitches tomorrow, great cat, the way these Yankees turned on the heat today, he might very easily lose. Then Hubbell comes back with a full 3-day rest, and they can't very well use him again in the series. If Hubbell tomorrow, with 2 full days of rest, and here sometimes in a very-down situation like this, you can do that, and although you'll find Hubbell and others even doing it through the season, then if Fitzsimmons might come back and do it, somebody else, maybe Schumacher, and between the 2 of them win 1 game, then Hubbell gets another crack at him after 2 more days rest, and they might be back in there. You can't ever tell. So it looks as though it's on Hubbell's shoulders and practically no one else's. Here in Chicago, the collapse of the Cubs' defense has been probably even more startling than the collapse of the Cubs' much-heralded pitching staff. Because the pitching staff certainly hasn't held up, and yet in yesterday's game in which Lee lost, the defense collapsed to start him on his way, and in today, the very first inning, the defense collapsed, and then the big 8-run 6th inning, the defense was also very poor. The Cubs coming up with 4 errors today, 2 in that inning, to make it just too bad. And in the first inning it did. But when those White Sox hitters started to take cracks at Warnke in the 6th inning, there was what's known as 2 of the most dangerous hitting teams in the American League. Find this National League pitching not so very difficult after all, although, as I said, it is to be seen in the composite box scores of the 2 games played. Yankee composite box score first. You find the Yankees as a team hitting .329 in 2 games, while the Giants as a team are hitting only .231. The strange part of it is that fellows and health fellows who have made hits in 8 with 3 hits and is hitting 4 hits and 9 and 444. Ott with 2 hits and 6 trips is 333. Mancuso with 2 hits and 5 trips is 400. And Jackson is the only regular under 300, and he has 1 hit and 8 times at bat with 125. I mean by that the only regular who has made a hit. Hubbell himself has a batting average of 500 with his 2 hits and 4 times at bat. And Davis in there as a pinch hitter today made a hit to have a batting average of 1,000. But Moore has been held hitless in 10 times at bat, Lieber in 4, Ripple in 2, and Whitehead in 7. Now, compare to that the fact that the Yankees find only 1 man who is engaged in either of these 2 games that hasn't made at least 1 hit. And that is Charlie Ruffing, the pitcher who pitched the opening game of the series and was shut out in 3 times at bat. In fact, he struck out 2 of those 3 times. So everybody in the lineup, including Gomez, the pitcher today, has had something to do in the batting line. Now, when you have the hitting running all the way up and down the line that way, it's pretty tough. The most sensational showing at bat so far in the World Series is Jake Powell, a fellow who really wasn't figured so seriously at the start. As a matter of fact, some people weren't sure that he would be regularly in there, although it was practically certain. But Powell, a boy who came from Washington in the deal for Ben Chapman this year, is hitting .714, just a mere .714. He's made 5 hits and 7 times at bat and has gained a couple of walks. Other sensational averages, Rolf has 3 hits and 7 times at bat, and Frank and Joe have 4 in 9 times at bat. Other fellows are all below 300, and that leads me to say another thing. 2 of the biggest guns of the Yankee attack have been held below 300, and they're not going to stay there, at least one of them. So in other words, they've won this one game to even it up without the really serious services of Lou Gehrig, who has made 2 hits and 8 times at bat, and Dickey, who has made 2 and 9 times at bat, that they're almost bound to get before the series is over. The big shot today, of course, was Lazzeri, whose lone hit of the series, giving him an average of 143, happened to be a home run with the bases full, which is a lot of home run in any league. Gomez came up with a base hit, and so he's very happy tonight. The White Sox-Cubs series, we find not quite as striking a situation, but still bad enough. The White Sox are hitting .231 as a team, with Appling topping the list, or rather tied with Rosenthal at the top of the list, with 4 hits and 8 times at bat. Each of them has a 2-base hit. Dykes is third with 2 hits and 6 times at bat with .333 average, and all the rest of them under 300. Stratton, the pitcher, made a hit today to have an average of .250. Sonora has 1 hit and 6 trips with .167. Radcliffe 1 hit and 7 trips with .143. And Hayes and Sewell each have 1 hit and 8 times at bat with .125. So their hitting hasn't been overpowering, but the Cubs pitching has been so bad and their defense so bad. There are 5 errors in 2 games and 12 passes in 2 games, making it, or giving the Sox an opportunity which they haven't overlooked. The Cub batting average is only .209 as a team, which is not very good. The Giants, incidentally, are hitting .231 as a team, which ties the present White Sox. The leader of the Cubs is Woody English, who has made 1 hit in his only appearance for a perfect average. But of those who have been in the game, in both games, Gill, making 4 hits and 8 times at bat, has an average of .500. Hack, with 2 hits and 6 trips, has .333. Hartnett with 2 hits and 7 trips, .286. Cavaretta with 2 hits and 8 trips, .250. And then on down, Demery has only 1 hit and 7 tries. Golan and Jurgis 1 and 8. And the rest of them haven't hit. So you find the same weakness in the Cub team that the Giants are showing, and the same strength in the Sox team that the Yanks are showing, and that is that everybody pretty near has had something to do. Only 2 of the White Sox players haven't made at least 1 hit. Haas, who has been up 6 times, and Kennedy, the pitcher, who was up 4 times yesterday. Whereas, of the Cubs, Herman, Warneke, Lillard, O'Day, Grimm, Lee, and Carlton, who have been at bat anywhere from 1 to 5 times, haven't made a base hit. Before we go any farther, I do want to remind you of one thing. And that is, remember what we said last night. The baseball player who won the Kellogg's Most Valuable Player contest will be announced Monday night, the winner of the player winning the Pontiac sedan. And then, if possible, Monday night, or if they haven't been able to figure through all the letters by that time, at least within the next 2 or 3 days after Monday, the main prize winners of the fans who wrote in will be announced. And also, every single person who voted in the contest is going to receive by mail a complete list of all the prize winners. If you know how many thousand that involved, it would give you a big kick. The scoring today started in the very first inning here at Comiskey Park. Radcliffe, the leadoff man for the Sox, walked and went to second on Rosenthal's single. Haas laid down a bunt toward third base, and Warneke went over there and got it with plenty of time to get Radcliffe at third base. He'd have had him by 8 feet, but he had one of those things happen like Cavaretta did yesterday and threw the ball clear down to the canvas down the left field line, with the result that both Radcliffe and Rosenthal were able to score, and Haas reached third. Warnicki looked like himself in striking out Benura and making Appling hit a ball toward Herman, but it was hit a little to Billy's right, rather hard hit, and caromed off Herman's glove for a scratch double, putting Haas across the plate. The Cubs got one of those back in the second inning with one out when Hack walked, went to second on Hartnett's scratch hit, and scored on Gill's single. The big blow-up, however, came in the sixth inning, and after pitching great ball, allowing only one hit after the first inning, and that coming in the fifth, why, Warnicki really was tagged, and tagged plenty. Benura opened the inning with a resounding single to center. Appling singled to right, putting Benura on second. Hayes sacrificed the boys along. Dykes was purposely passed, filling the bases. Sewell singled to center, as he so often does in a clinch, scoring Benura and Appling to third. And then when the throw-in got away from Hack, Stratton went to second. After he won and play which much a hard hit ball got away from Cavaretta. He trying to throw to Phil at first and still get another run was the hot horses. New pitcher came in, and then Appling singled to draw to end that big run. 1 in the 8th. When second time an English step opened with a single, but was forced rather by O'Day, who was in there. O'Day went to third on Gill's single and scored on George's hit. That's all, though, and tomorrow they play the third game of the series. But, Ford, you got something to say?
You know, people often say the way to jollity and value is to look for the... We invite you to invite Asher's things as a patented feature that makes it strong outside carton. Just a zip of your thumb and presto up pops the lid. Inside, wrapping to protect the flavor and freshness of the flakes. The wax tights are found only on Kellogg products. Open that. Then notice how uniform those delicious toasted flakes, how perfect each one is, how wonderfully fresh and good they smell. Perhaps, but they mean careful manufacturing and hot. The next time you buy corn flakes, get Kellogg and discover it. Kellogg presents Hal Totten with his inside story on baseball each day at this time except Sunday. The National Broadcasting Company, WENR, the voice of service in Chicago. At this time, we leave the air in favor of WLS.